All right, little update on the old bean van for y'all guys. We got our door speakers from Rockford Fosgate, 6 inches, 1 inch bigger than stock, mounted to the stock mounting plate right behind that. You can see there, and by mounting, I mean epoxied. That actually is going to work out pretty well as long as it doesn't come apart. But I have pretty faith. It's not epoxy, it's JB Weld, so I have a lot of faith that that'll stick. No worries. And then, oh yeah, that side's all buttoned up, already done. You can see that door lock fits behind there nicely. And on this side, we got mirror controls too. We got 2 of these guys, so I'm hoping and praying that I won't have any issues there. But from what I could tell on the other side, we should be all right. We got our dash speakers, front and center up here. Had to move the factory OBD2 port right there. He was over here originally, snaked him under. Right there, we also got this guy snaked through here so that we can control these dash speakers in terms of volume independently from our door speakers, because they're wired on the same channel, which means that channel is running on a 2 ohm load on this guy, our little Kenwood. And that's all well and good. 2 ohms isn't the problem. The problem is this guy's underpowered, so we're getting a lot of clipping. Everything's wired up, and I'm big disappointed because I made a rookie mistake. And this guy says 400 watts. Doesn't really do 400 watts. He does maybe 200. And then on top of that, 400 wouldn't even be enough to power our front speakers, anyways, because we got them wired on a 2 ohm load. We got them wired together. We'd really need about 600 watts. 400 watts might be enough if we were running, it would be enough if we were running these guys separate from these guys and we weren't running, come on, focus. We weren't running any speakers in the rear, but we got factory speakers in the rear. Which brings us to the reason why I installed that Kenwood in the first place, because it comes with Bluetooth. This little guy that I already mounted that I'm now going to have to take out. That's the Bluetooth controller. That just hooks up straight to your phone, and you can see you can switch between radio, Bluetooth, next track, previous track, all the good stuff that we won't be having because we're switching to a Rockford Fosgate 600 watt amp. That should solve our problems, and we'll have to go back to this solution right here with our factory stereo. I want the factory stereo. I like that OEM look. It's got its own problems too. I've actually got another one coming in because the tape deck is a little suspect, and that's what I've been using to wire in, which I was originally hoping to get around. But this guy, you've seen these guys before, is wired to the end of this guy, a little Bluetooth controller. And I guess we'll be going back to that on our older radio. And the nice thing about the older radios too is that the newer ones had a 93 before. So that's the model radio that's coming in. But these guys, you see, you can push the fader around by accident real easy if your family member's driving the car. They can push it all the way back to the rear and then wonder why it's not making any noise and then turn the volume up to compensate. And we definitely don't want that now, do we? So, the older model has 2 of these guys here and none of that. So it should solve that problem. No accidental fader or bass or any of that. Apart from that, I think that's all there is to update you guys on. I'll speak to you guys again when the new amp is in and that guy's out. Since I've hacked up the wiring harness, the plan right now is to put that guy in Miata right over there. Ignore the old Volvo. I know I have been. And then we'll have 2 cars with amps, unintentionally. Only spent twice the amount of money that I originally wanted to spend. Oh, and we also got this guy down here. We've been having problems with this. I don't know if these aftermarket alarm systems are a aftermarket, totally aftermarket, or if they're a dealer option, because some of them look pretty well equipped to the color of the car. You see, it looks almost like it's almost OEM, but not quite. That guy definitely isn't OEM. That guy wires in, and we got a little bit of a phantom door lock issue I can show you guys actually. Keep an eye on these door locks right here. Yeah, there you go. So we got our dash lights on. Radio should come on, and if I, yep, there we go. All on its own, just locking and unlocking. Sometimes when I lock and unlock the car, For the first time in a while, it does that several times. Yep, always trying to lock. And if I leave the keys in, it'll try to do its own phantom locking and unlocking every 10-15 minutes or so. So that's its own challenges, its own set of challenges that we're going to have to, there we go again, figure out. So, yep, that's all for you guys today. I'll make sure to update you again once everything's all settled.